In today's world, a suspect might not even have a physical location. They can just be a username, an avatar, or a voice in a chat room. So, how do investigators possibly bridge that gap between the keyboard and the actual person typing on it? Well, let's dive into the pretty fascinating world of digital detective work and find out. This right here, this quote, comes directly from the investigation into the billion-dollar dark web market known as Silk Road. Its creator, Roz Ulbricht, was a guy who went to some incredible lengths to stay anonymous. And yet, he was undone by one of the simplest mistakes you can even imagine. He literally connected his secret identity to his real one. So, how does that even happen? That's really the core question we're going to dig into today. We're going to follow the digital breadcrumbs and see exactly how investigators connect a really carefully crafted online persona to a living, breathing person. And it all starts with understanding that, really, each of us has two selves. Okay, let's break down these two fundamental identities, the one that's tied to your physical body and the one you build for yourself online. Think about it like this. Your physical identity is, well, it's concrete. It's based on unique biological traits. Your digital identity, though, that's something you build. It's changeable. It can be totally fictional. You could even share it. And that difference, that's the entire battlefield for investigators. The whole foundation of your physical self is what we call your biometric identity. This is the stuff that, with very, very few exceptions, is yours and yours alone. It's stable, it's reliable, and it's incredibly difficult to fake. We're talking about things like the unique ridges on your fingertips and the genetic code that literally makes you, you. Or, the incredibly complex and totally distinct pattern of your iris. And it goes even deeper than that. We're talking the specific geometry of your face or your unique gait, the way you walk. All of that is part of this unchangeable physical identity. Now, compare all that with your digital identity. This is a persona you create. You pick the username, you write the bio, you curate the photos. It's completely user-controlled. And that's exactly what makes it so useful for anyone who's trying to hide. But here's the catch. Every single action you take to build that digital identity leaves a clue. It's like a tiny breadcrumb in a massive digital forest. And that trail is made up of all these different digital fingerprints. Every username you create, every email account you have, every social media profile, every single comment on a blog, every photo you upload, each one is a potential link in a much longer chain. See, this is where digital clues are so different from physical ones, right? Knowing someone's fingerprints doesn't really reveal their DNA. But online, all these identifiers are interconnected. Investigators can basically leapfrog from one clue to the next, using a username to find an email, which leads to a profile, which might contain a photo with hidden data. So, how do they actually follow this trail? Well, it's a really methodical process of connecting all those little dots. It's pretty much a systematic hunt. It starts with just one piece of information, let's say the username Altoid. Then investigators search that username across hundreds of social networks, forums, blogs, you name it. They're looking for connections, building a kind of map of that digital persona, and all the while just waiting for one crucial slip-up. And that really is the key. To stay hidden, a suspect has to be perfectly anonymous, 100% of the time, across every platform, forever. An investigator, they just need them to be human once. One slip, one lazy moment, one mistake. That's all it takes. And look, this isn't just a theory. Let's check out some real-world cases where a tiny, tiny error unraveled the whole thing. So take the hacker Higinio Ochoa. He was incredibly careful. But his girlfriend posted a photo online bragging about his hacks. Now, the picture didn't show her face, but what she forgot about was the metadata, all that hidden data that's embedded in an image file. That data contained the precise GPS coordinates of where the photo was taken, leading investigators right to their front door. Or look at Matthew Keys. He joined an anonymous chat room to get hackers to attack his former employer. But he couldn't resist. In an effort to prove he had inside knowledge, he bragged, identifying himself as a former employee. That single phrase just dramatically narrowed the list of suspects and led investigators straight to him. And that brings us right back to where we started, Ross Ulbricht, the mastermind behind Silk Road. He used the username Altoid to promote his illegal marketplace on the dark web. But years earlier, he'd used that same pretty unique username on a public coding forum, where he asked for help and signed off with his full name and his personal email address. That one link, That one mistake from years before was the thread that unraveled his entire anonymous empire. So after all this, it kind of leaves us with a question to think about, right? Every time you post or comment or create a username, you're leaving one of these breadcrumbs. You're building a digital self that might be way more connected to your physical self than you even realize. So, what story is your trail telling?